Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the York City Planning Commission to order. May we have a roll call?
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Gaines,
Present.
Moore,
Here.
and Davis is excused and Wolf is excused.
Minutes from the last meeting. Anyone have any changes or additions?
Yes, I would like to make a note that the meetings from the minutes from the meeting last month note that Miss Gaines was absent when she was present.
Is there a motion to accept as amended?
I make a motion to approve the August meeting minutes as amended. Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore,
Aye.
Gaines.
Aye.
Zoning Hearing Board. Anybody have any questions on on what was emailed? Hearing none. Under Land Development Plan, 500 West College Avenue. First, we'll have the applicant the staff do a report, then the applicant step forward.
Okay, so we have two for actually the same location, different. They're all for a dense supply. One's 500 West College Avenue, the Lofts at York Creek, and 550 West College Avenue, the Towns at York Creek. Staff is going to recommend that it be tabled until we can resolve the two outstanding issues which are not listed on here. Our recreational fee, when a large project is unable to supply the necessary amount of recreational space, then they have to, compensate a fee in lieu of. So we have to figure all that out. And also the easement and/or subdivision of where the pump station is in the southeast corner of the property. Those two items are big items that need to be resolved. You can, if you want to, vote on approval of or denial of these listed items here, but it won't move any further past Planning Commission. It will sit until the issues get resolved, and then before it goes to City Council. So Mr. Stein is here tonight to explain more about what I'm talking about, so you can decide what you want to do.
So you're recommending a table?
Correct.
Can we still approve it on conditions?
So you can approve it on condition. However, the two those will be the outstanding engineer comments that will be on there about the recreational fee and also the easement. Those kind of came up in a meeting that was after the fact of here. So you can if you want to.
If we do that, is there a timeline issue with?
No, they've signed a waiver of time for that, so they have signed that for both projects on the 500 and the 550.
All right, Joe.
Hey, good evening. My name is Joe Stein. I'm a civil project director at Warehouse. I'm the project manager for this. First and foremost, I'd like to say, please excuse my casual appearance this evening. I was participating in the Rotary Club of York's Love for Community fundraising event today. So I've been outside all day, was at that event, came right from there at the Country Club of York to here. So would usually not appear to you before shorts and such casual nature, but so be it. Here we are this evening representing York Realty Partners for the redevelopment, the exciting redevelopment of the Dentsply campus. So this is at 550 West College Avenue. It's going to be on the south side of College Avenue, basically centered east-west on Grantley Road, with the Codorus Creek on the south side as a border. So this was an expansive campus, historically part of the Codorus homes. Dentsply took over a lot of properties out there. A very robust industrial development was there for many, many years. Unfortunately, Dentsply has vacated their campus here in the city. York Realty Partners came to a deal with the Redevelopment Authority of York to purchase the property. They are seeking to do a townhome and loft development of this campus. And so the plans here before you this evening are for technically at 500 West College Avenue. It's a 178 workforce residential community, 178 units at within all the existing buildings. Some of those existing buildings would be for commercial space. We've been here for some parking relief. We've been here for the residential use in the EC zoning district. So this is not new to you necessarily, but we are here this evening asking for conditional approval. Likewise, we're also here this evening for the 550 West College Avenue Towns at York Creek. What we have here is an opportunity to bring even more residential capacity to this neighborhood. There's expansive areas of parking lots that were utilized as part of the Dense Ply campus, and we'd like to convert those to 62 townhomes. And so land development plans have been provided to the city staff. The idea of potentially tabling that was news to me here this evening. We would prefer to get a conditional approval. We think that the plans are far enough along. We've been trying for several weeks, if not months, to try and resolve the recreation fee issue. There's not real clear guidance on a fee in lieu of, and this type of infill redevelopment isn't really clear for recreational space. So the subdivision land development ordinance says if you have X amount of units, which kind of caps at 100, has, I think, 4 acres. And in this situation, we have 178 plus 62. So we're exceeding what the ordinance calls out. I think the ordinance contemplates kind of new development in a different different style than what we're doing, and we're packing a lot of units into existing buildings. And so what we're trying to do is repopulate that portion of the city and bring back that neighborhood lifestyle to the southeast neighborhood area. And so we're trying to work through the recreational requirements as the city planner had indicated. We're working through the calculations on, is it a fee in lieu of, is it recreational area? What we do have here is a lot of amenities for these residents and for the general public. And so we've been working with York County Economic Alliance about extending the Cadorus Creek Trail up past Penn Street all the way to Bance Park. We have provided on the plans transfer of land for that trail to be accommodated. That would open up the Cadorus Creek from basically our southern property line down to the banks of the Cadorus. People could walk, fish, bike, anything they would wish to do with that recreational area. We have internal courtyards for the residents. We have rooftop decks. So we're really trying to make this a desirable and enjoyable space. We are not seeking much in the way of waivers on the lofts plan. The only waiver we're looking for at this point is a modification just to forego the preliminary plan and go right to final. On the townhome plan, we have 3 waivers. Preliminary plan, a variation from the stormwater management ordinance, and a reduction on internal streets only of a reduction on clear site triangle. The zoning ordinance, the subdivision land development ordinance requires a 75-foot clear site triangle. We meet that at public streets, but on the interior streets, because of our layout, we have a reduction down to 45 and 30 feet, but those intersections are stop controlled. And so, again, we're here this evening hoping that with the minimal comments that we have, we could seek a conditional approval and move on to council when staff deems appropriate. We really were hoping that we could be there next week, but if there's some things we have to flesh out, we're willing to do so. But we've been before you a few times here through the zoning process. You have some familiarity with the project. We have very few comments remaining. Looking at both letters, I think the last one we have from July 21st on the lofts, and for the towns, we're looking at July 28th. And so both recent comments from the city engineer, city staff, we've addressed many of the engineering concerns. We just have some items out, signed, sealed plans, financial security, all those types of things that we typically get a conditional approval from towards the end of a project. So with that, I'll take a pause and answer any questions that you might have about the project or concerns with the staff's recommendation.
Does, does the reduction in line of sight have any effect on emergency vehicle access?
No, we don't believe so. We have provided in the land development plan vehicle tracking that shows the city's fire trucks being able to navigate this, and the city fire department staff has reviewed the plans. They've made some recommendations which we believe we have picked up satisfactorily.
Okay. Any questions? Anyone?
I do have a question.
ahead.
Nance, what is this recreation fee thing? I don't understand it.
I'm sorry, what did you
What
say?
is the thing
The
that you
recreation
want-
fee.
that you
Okay,
want
so
to-
recreational fee is, let me read what it is. In case of a residential development, adequate recreational space shall be included as a part of the development plans as follows unless specifically indicated otherwise by the planning commission or formally adopted recreational plan. So they only have up to 100 units here. They're going to have total 62 townhomes and what's the number on the lofts?
178.
So it's 230 something total. So what this is anytime you have a large scale project, okay, that they cannot accommodate for recreational space, because if you know the dense supply area, you're going to know it's a lot, you know, they're going to do some things they are going to do down by the trail, but it has to be public recreational space, not just recreational space for their tenants or for the townhome people. So then what is figured, there's an equation that you figure it out as far as the number of units and current value of an acre of land as such, and then they try to come to an agreement or, you know, do some rehabbing or redeveloping of neighboring parks in the area.
What about Martin Luther King Park? Isn't
So,
that like a block?
we are-
Correct. So we have Kings Park directly adjacent to us on the east and Bance Park on the west.
So those are all in negotiations now. I mean, you know, they're all being talked about right now, but there hasn't been anything yet agreed upon. And with the, we also have a pump station that we need to have access to. The city does, in the event that, you know, it needs some fuel or it needs to be repaired or replaced anywhere down the road. We haven't had the easement agreement yet showing up on the land development plans and showing up on what exactly, you know, is going to happen with that. So those are the two big items on there that will, until we get those resolved, I mean, you all can give a conditional approval, but it will not go on to city council until those issues are resolved.
As it pertains to the pump station, so it's I think it's a sewer pump station or is it a stormwater pump station?
It's stormwater because,
So-
yes.
So as part of the mitigation of stormwater with the Army Corps of Engineers protection of the Cadorus Creek, there exists on the very southeast corner of the property a pump station. It's currently accessed through what was the parking lot of the Densply property. The property in its entirety would be transferred to York Realty Partners. There's no easements, no rights of way, no other means of access to that pump station other than through the parking lot. What the purchaser has offered and what we thought was accepted, it does not appear in any of the review letters from the city staff based on 721 or 728 review letters for each project respectively. We had thought that the city was going to utilize the Cadorus Creek Trail coming in access off of Penn Street, coming on the south side of Kings Park to get to the trail. So we had been coordinating with Bucart Horn very closely, who has been working with the Economic Alliance on the improvements for this trail, the engineering, the land acquisitions, whatnot. So the last we left it was we thought that the access off of Penn Street was acceptable. Again, it does not show up in any of the review letters that this is an unsatisfied item. And so again, we're happy to kind of work through that, but our land development plans with subdivisions do not make any accommodations through the site for access to that pump station, as the land as it currently exists does not have any easements or rights of way to it. The most logical, in our opinion, would be to come along the trail, which would be modified to support not only pedestrians or bicycles or whatever may be on the rail trail that you may know currently. This section would be beefed up, and we've expressed this interest to Bucart Horn, who is engineering that trail, to accommodate the vehicles that need to come in to service the pumps once a year or however often that needs to occur. And so kind of a little bit surprised that that was still a lingering issue. Again, we're happy to work through that, but I don't see any way that we're really able to accommodate that through the site based on our plan currently proposed. So we'd like to continue to pursue allowing the city, or having the city pursue the option of coming along the Cadorus Creek Trail.
Any other questions?
Would you like me, do you want me to read a little further for you for the rec fee part of it? Because I kind of didn't finish that. I mean, we were talking about the number of ones. But it also states where the application of these standards would result in an open space or recreation site too small to be usable, or if the comprehensive plan calls for such local recreation site to be located elsewhere, or if a suitable site cannot be properly located in land development as determined by the city, a payment of a fee in lieu of dedication of such land is required. The following procedures shall be followed. The amount of the fee shall be determined by the city resolution or a lot or a dwelling basis shown on the final plan. The fee shall be paid to the city prior to the approval of the final plan. The land or fees or combination thereof are to be used only for the purpose of providing park or recreational facilities accessible to the development. The amount and location of the land to be dedicated or the fees to be paid shall bear a reasonable relationship to the use of the park and recreational facilities by future inhabitants of the development or subdivision. And then it just goes on to say, you know, about the equation and how they figure that out, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm.
Anyone from the public that would like to address this case? Hearing none. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, when you acquired the Dead Spot property, did you acquire the parking lot at the southeast corner of College and Hartley? And there's a blank, there's an open space, an open lot on the southwest corner of College and Hartley.
Ma'am, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
James Campbell, 129 North Main Street, York, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
So as part of the Densply property acquisition, the parking lot that is on the north side of West College Avenue and east of South Hartley Street is acquired. So that is part of the plans that are before the board this evening.
Okay, and there's a grassy lot on the western side.
Correct. So as part of the plans, and I'll deviate just a second. So part of the plans include the existing parking lots. So again, north of West College, east of North Hartley, and then between Grantley and Southwest Street, there's an existing parking facility. As part of this, there's numerous lots from the time when these lots were all residential units. So the plan proposes to consolidate many of the miscellaneous lots that are out there. Both parking lots will be preserved, enhanced, but all of the other Densply properties, as I understand it, the Densply properties for the grass unimproved lots will remain with the redevelopment authority for additional redevelopment in the future. So there are no plans for the grass lots as part of this redevelopment project through our client, York Realty Partners. They are taking the parking lots, both on the north side of College Avenue and all the buildings on the south side of College Avenue, the grass lots and any other potential miscellaneous lots that exist with any sort of improvements would be remaining with the redevelopment authority.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was curious about that because I own 218 South Bartley.
Okay.
Any other questions?
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Hearing none, do we have a motion on waiving the preliminary plan for 500 West College?
I make a motion to recommend approval of waiver, good lord, of the preliminary plan, for the property at 500 West College Avenue.
Second.
Motion is second, further discussion. Hearing none, roll call.
Who seconded that?
Gaines.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have a motion for the final, to approve or deny the final land development plan?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a final land development subdivision plan conditioned upon the resolution of the outstanding engineer comments as well as the recreation fee for the property at 500 West College Avenue.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes. 550 West College, do we have a motion to waive preliminary plan?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a waiver for the preliminary plan for the property located at 550 West College Avenue.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Is there a motion to waive the line of sight requirements?
I make a motion to recommend approval to waive the 75-foot clear site triangles for the property at 550 West College Avenue.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there a motion to waive the projects greater than 1 acre?
Make a motion to recommend approval of a waiver for projects greater than 1 acre for the property at 550 West College Avenue.
Second.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hold on. Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have a motion to accept the conditional approval of the outstanding engineer? Well, no, wait. That's wrong. The wording is wrong. For the final land development plan.
I make a motion to recommend approval for a final land development subdivision plan conditioned upon satisfaction of the engineering comments as well as payment for the recreation fee.
Second.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you. Zoning cases, our first case is 20-2025-Z-V, 371 West Philadelphia Street.
Don't you have that? Is that the main one?
Good evening. I'm John Ogden. and I represent the owners.
Just a second, sir. We have to have a staff report first, okay?
So the original staff review was based upon, was just based upon the use for motor vehicles there. Since then, things have changed, so it is actually, the staff review would be, they are going to appeal the zoning determination of the city that the property is not permitted to be used as a vehicle sales, repair, or the alternative, and then a variance to allow the motor vehicle sales, repair, or rental as defined in section 1304.01-4.06.001 for the property at 371 West Philadelphia Street. So there is another piece to that now, rather than them just appearing for a variance for the use.
Well, we're appearing for a variance, but we're also asking for an appeal of this determination that was issued on April 15th.
So our solicitor, helped put this all together. It can be all together in the one recommending approval or denial. So you can recommend approval or denial of their appeal, but in the same token, they are going to be needing a variance. If you approve, if you make a recommendation to approve the fact that what Monty gave them as a zoning determination was incorrect, then they would not need the variance for the use. Would not need the recommendation for the variance for the use.
That's correct, but we would probably still ask for a recommendation for both, because when we go to zoning,
Right,
you
you
know,
have
what
to.
if, yeah, so we would
So-
probably ask for a recommendation on both.
So what we'll do is we'll list however you're going to do that. After the discussion point, then when the motion is made, you can make it say that, let's say, I don't know, let's just say Mr. Velez makes a motion to recommend approval of the appeal for the zoning determination and approval for the variance. Or he recommends denial of the zoning determination and then, approval of the variance. So either way, it'll be however you decide to do that, but we were directed to go ahead and put that all in there just as is stated there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name's John Ogden, and I represent the owners of this property at 371 West Philadelphia Street. Just to orient everybody, this is the garage that has a brown garage door. It's been there for a long time, and it's just before you get to the Roosevelt Tavern, which is on the other side. You might know that you own the parking lot right across from the Roosevelt Tavern there, sort of an empty, I think Redevelopment owns it. And this is the garage that is essentially right across the street from that. I think it's 4 doors to the end. And this all started, and I'll call Peter Pavlo, who is one of the owners, here in a minute. But this was Mayer's garage, James Mayer. And the sign is still written there. And he worked on trucks and hydraulic features on trucks and vehicles since 1986. And I put together a table of contents. And one of the things in there was the zoning record to show, number 3, that James Mayer had this property since 1986. And then number 4, another zoning record shows that it was zoned and used. They used the code 047 as an auto parts service garage. And I have that part highlighted. I think it's highlighted on your version too. And then number 5, under the assessment records, it shows a code of 332C, auto service garage. Well, Mr. Mayer passed in 2021 after 30-some years of running that garage there. And his estate was opened and eventually sold it to my clients who are sitting here, Peter Pavlo and Rami Botros. Now, it's under the name of Unique Realty and Taycan LLC. And in my table of contents, I gave you a copy of the deed at number 7. just so you could show that it is indeed in their name. Actually, number 6 is a copy of the obituary for Mr. Mayer. When my clients purchased the property, it was marketed as, you know, an automobile garage, service center, et cetera. They purchased it, and then in 25, they decided to rent it to the current applicant, Ronaldo, and I won't say his last name because I probably won't say it right. After Ronaldo and his brother Nick took possession of it, they were doing the same thing, working on cars in there. But Nick decided, and I'll have him testify in a minute, that he wanted an occupancy permit with his actual name on it. So when he applied for an occupancy permit, that's when we received this letter, which is exhibit number 1 from zoning. And the letter is a little bit confusing because if you look at the title paragraph, and then number 1 says the City of York defines proposal use house of worship in 130401, and then it cites 4.06001. I think that might be a typo, I'm not sure. But it talks about motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental use. And it talks about the fact that this is in a UN2 neighborhood, which is true. And it defines there what the use of motor vehicle service, sales, and repair is. But it indicates that he doesn't have approval to operate there. And the reason why we're appealing it is because this was a valid non-conforming use that was never abandoned, and there was never a change of use. As you all know, if you have a non-conforming use, let's say it's a restaurant, and you change it to a retail store, then you can't go back to that restaurant if it's not zoned in that neighborhood because you changed the nature of the non-conforming use. And in fact, in your statutory set in the zoning ordinance, it has a procedure in there of how you would go about changing a non-conforming use. And I asked for a right to know from the city on July 24th of this year, and I put it in here under number 12. And I got back about 8 documents, and none of them have any information about a change of use. So I don't believe there was a change of use there. It certainly has never been abandoned. It's always been an auto garage. Now, it is true it hasn't been used for a while between the time in 21 when Mr. Mayer passed and in 23 when his estate was formed. I think his kids lived out of state. So they had to open an estate and then market it and then sold it to the current owners. But at this time, I would like to call Peter Pavlo. Does he need to be sworn in?
No.
Okay. Peter, just come on over here. First of all, is everything I said to this point, is that your understanding of what's been going on with this property?
Yes.
Okay. And tell the board about, you know, how did it come about that you and your partner purchased it? First of all, what business are you in?
We sell cars and repair. And we seen it listed online, and we contacted our realtor. He showed us a building. It was full of tools and like whatever you need to fix, you know, whatever they were doing in there. So we bought the property thinking that we're good to go, you know, to keep doing the same thing that it was used for. And now we find out that, I don't know.
All right, well,
we can't, or
after you bought the property, was it obvious that it was still outfitted for use on vehicles? Did you make any changes to it to do it something else with it?
no changes. No.
And that fit right in with your business plan because you're in the business of selling, working on cars, tires, et cetera?
Yeah.
And then did you have any problem there or any issues with your use of the property until you leased it?
No.
Okay.
We've never had any problems now.
And then you decided to lease it to the current applicant, is that right?
Yeah.
And then was he going to do with what with the property?
They were just gonna continue to do car repairs, or whatever they do.
Okay, exact same thing. And how did this thing all come about? Because you leased the property to him in March of 25, right?
Yeah.
And then he got this letter in April of 25. What happened in between there?
to be honest.
Well, is that when he applied for an occupancy permit because he wanted his name on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's what
All right, I'll call him for that part of it, but you're here to testify that you bought it as a garage. As far as you know, how long you been around York?
for like 25 years.
20, has it always been a garage that you're aware of?
That I know of, yeah.
Okay, and does it have really any other, could you do it, anything else in there? Could you make it residential?
No, you can't make it.
It's
Residential.
strictly set up as
Yeah.
a garage with, we all know that big garage door off Philadelphia Street, right?
Yep.
And then what's inside it?
Right now, it's just like a empty space, you know,
Okay.
with the office inside.
Okay, but there's no bedrooms, there's
No,
no,
no.
it wouldn't be used for overnight accommodation or
No.
anything like that?
Mm.
Okay. And then in the back, is there an open area?
In the back, there's a garage, big garage door as well, and then you go out, and it's like big open space.
Like a
Like,
gravel
out-
area?
Gravel, yeah.
Okay, and it's all closed in?
Yep.
Okay. So when you're doing your work inside there, if you have the garage door closed, can anyone driving by see what you're doing in there, or is it all private?
It's pretty private.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see if the board or anybody has questions for you, and then I'll call Nick.
No, I don't.
Not a truck.
Okay, thank you. Nick? Can you tell the board your name?
Nathaniel Cheatham.
Okay, and how did you get involved in this property at 371 West Philadelphia Street?
My brother and I wanted a garage to repair cars.
And your brother is the name on the application?
Yes.
Okay. And is that your business, repairing, selling, working on vehicles?
Working on vehicles and programming them.
Okay. And how did you find out about this property?
I was actually looking for a property, and I knew Pete here, and he told me he had the property, and one thing led to the next, and here we are.
Okay. And when you went and looked at the property and signed the lease, what was it used for?
Repairs on trucks.
Okay. And in fact, are the signs all still up from when the mayor's had it?
Yes.
Okay. And was anything on the inside changed other than cleaned up and some stuff thrown away you didn't need it and that kind of thing?
No.
Okay. And then how did this come about that this letter was generated on April 15th that we're here today on?
I came to get a occupancy permit, I believe it is, or I filled out a new packet hire to get an occupancy permit for the building.
And why did you think you needed that, or why did you need it?
Because I knew that the building was in because someone told me that you needed one for a new business here. So I said, to make things legitimate and, so that everybody knows what's going on, wanted to be transparent. So I came and filled out an application.
Okay. And then did you also inquire about buying the parking lot across the street?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay. And is that owned by redevelopment?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
And was that one time part of this building?
I believe at one point in time it was part of this building, the actual parking lot across the street, but it's not currently, I don't believe.
Okay. And then a week or so later, did you get this letter in the mail?
Yes, it was something that was in light of something about spaces or something that they had wanted me to have for the building.
Okay. And does this notice of determination ever reflect the fact that it had been used for auto sales repair for, since like 1986?
Oh yeah, that's the reason why we wanted the building, because it was always known as a repair shop, and it always has been one.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has it been used for anything else?
No.
Okay. Now, you also filed, or your brother filed, and you guys are partners in this business? Okay. You also filed for a variance, right? Because zoning told you might need a variance for that?
Yes.
Because you're in a UN2 residential neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's some main things you have to prove for a variance. First of all, is it a hardship if you couldn't use that property for this use, for working on cars and trucks?
I would say it would be for me, because that's how we generate and make money to take care of our families.
Okay. And could this building really be used for anything else that you could think of?
No, it's basically cinder block walls and concrete flooring, and it's just it looked like a warehouse. It's just wide open, but it's not. It can't be used for residential. It's not set up for that.
And in fact, it looks like the city or somebody erected signs in front of and after the garage door that said something like "Do not block garage door," right?
Yes, it's actually signs put in by the city that are that tells folks not to park in front of the garage doors and the bay doors. Or else they get, matter of fact, to be honest with you, I pulled my car in front of there and got a ticket before. So yes, they're there.
And another part of the variance is that it can't be self-created. In other words, did you do anything when you took over that property to create this zoning problem?
No,
Or did you use it exactly the way it was?
exactly the way it is.
Okay. And another provision of variance is you're asking for the minimum variance. You're just asking for the right to continue the use that it was since 1986?
Yes.
Okay. And are you asking to do any renovations or changes to the outside appearance or the inside of the property?
No,
You just want to keep it exactly the same?
I'm gonna keep it just like it is.
Okay. And have you had any trouble in that neighborhood just in the short time that you had it where it disrupts the neighborhood or anything of that nature?
Not that I've had. Matter of fact, the folks from the neighborhood has came to me, and then, a lot of them have said, "Hey, we're glad you're here. We need a mechanic shop right here." Stuff like that, and that's from the neighboring residential neighbors because it's in a residential block. So the neighbors, all the ones that I've met, even what's his name, Dwayne, he owns the vacuum shop a couple units down. He even welcomed us all in.
Oh, Miller, you're talking about Miller Brothers Vacuums?
Yes.
Who's been there for ever since I was a kid?
Yes.
Okay. And have you had any issues with parking?
I haven't had any issues with parking, really. I feel as though with the lot across the street, I mean, we could park there if we get permits from you guys, that's fine. And then the building itself has ample parking out back or in the building.
And do you own a building behind that building that you can have parking too if you needed it?
We have a building, we have a lot behind the building that we can actually go and it'll be, and we can park there too, yes. It's not even a 60-second walk.
Now, the nature of your business, do you really have customers coming there who would be waiting?
No, not really. The type of work that we do, because I'm a programmer, actually, I program the modules in the cars and do the automobile keys and programming for the vehicles. Usually, folks drop these things off, and if they are there, they're there a very short period of time, and all work is done in the building in private. So the building's a pretty nice sized building.
And you mentioned that it's a block building. Could residences on either side hear what you're doing in there?
No.
I mean, is it that loud that someone could be disturbed or heard?
No, I haven't had any problems with the neighbors just in us cleaning up the building and stuff like that. I haven't had any problems with the neighbors, and the neighbors directly next to us are elderly and haven't had any issues.
Okay, and let's take a look at that. Number 9 of the exhibits, you had provided some pictures, right?
Yes,
Okay, number 9, does that show the front of the building
in the back.
and the back of the building?
Yes,
Okay, and that's the large area you're talking about? You could park back there?
yes,
Okay. And the front of the building even says Mayors, and it's all faded, but it says truck repair there?
mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 9.1, is that
This is the
copies
inside.
inside?
Of the building.
Okay.
Yes.
So like you said, it's essentially a big empty building. It looks like it has some cranes in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And 9.2, other pictures of the interior?
That's the office and interior pictures. Yes.
Okay. 9.3 is sort of a layout.
Floor plan. Yep.
Okay. And 10 is a copy of your lease. Now, there is on 12.7, the city sent a letter to the owners saying that there was an accumulation of junk and furniture out front. Do you know anything about that?
No, because when we acquired the building, none of that stuff was there. It wasn't anything there.
Okay, it was all cleaned up?
Yes.
And as far as you know, someone must have just put that out front there?
Yeah, maybe somebody was cleaning out the building and they were waiting for a truck or something. I don't know, but it definitely, well, I've never seen any type of litter or couches or anything that was inside the building, out front of the building.
Okay. And do you believe that this was a valid non-conforming use since 1986 and that it never changed uses?
Yes.
I'll open Nick up for questions if anyone has any.
I have one for staff. When did they cease operations, the previous owner?
You mean mayor?
Yeah.
He died in 21.
Did they cease operations then?
I think so, yeah, because he was the one running it. His son didn't run it.
And you referred to 2023. What was that reference?
2023 is when my client bought it. It took some time for his kids to open the estate, figure out what's going on, market it. And then my client bought it on 4/26 of 23. That's Peter and Rami. They're in the business. And I think they basically just used it for storage and stuff like that, not necessarily retail, just working on cars. And that's really what Nick does too. They don't really have retail there. Like he said, if it is, someone would drop a car off, or you have multiple other locations, don't you?
Yeah, we have other locations.
Okay, so you basically work on cars there. It's not like people are coming and going.
No, it's basically because we, like the owners and all of us, were kind of in similar businesses. So, well, it's the same business that we're in. We just do different things. So therefore, my part of the business is that, let's say that we have a car that comes in that belongs at, let's say, give you an example like his lot. Okay, I'll fix the cars there, and then they go back to his lot. So they're just being dropped off at the building. And the building, if you look at the, and I can't remember what page it was, 12 something, of the back area of the building itself, is large enough that you can park about probably 10 or 14 cars back there. There's nothing back there now at this moment, but at the same time, you can park quite a bit of cars in the back. But being as though that our cars have specific reasons why they're there and specific reasons why they're there, or things to be fixed, they're usually there not very long. As soon as we get them, we fix them, we send them back to where they came from, or we drive them back to where they came from.
And to supplement that, sir, you had asked about, was it non-used after his death, after Mr. Mayor's death? And I did submit a memorandum on the second page. It says, proof of non-use due to events beyond an owner's control, such as death, temporary discontinuance or lapse of time between the departure of one leasee and the arrival of another is insufficient to establish abandonment. I think the intent is what really counts. Yes, he passed, but it was still intended to be this same kind of shop. It was marketed as a shop. Rami and Peter bought it as a shop, used it as a shop, and then leased it to the current applicant. And really the way it came on the radar is they decided they want an occupancy permit in their name. Whether you needed it or not, I don't know, because usually if you don't have a change of use, you don't need a new occupancy permit. But you're from Maryland originally, right?
Originally.
Yeah, and so he figured, you know what, I got that new business packet, from the city that gets you an EIN number and all that stuff. And he thought, you know what, I'll apply for a occupancy permit at the same time.
Well, my question for staff was, are those 2 years sufficient to not require an abandonment of use?
That's what staff was looking at. So when I brought it to everybody at the city, a few people who have more knowledge of the building than me, they stated that that building was used specifically as a hydraulic repair station. They wasn't doing cars, or they wasn't selling cars or anything. So that's why that they made them change the use to go under for motor vehicle sales, repairs, and rental. It's not the same type of business, and they don't believe that everything that they would need to operate that for them to, discharge of oil and everything, they don't know if it's even set up like that. So that's why they wanted them to do a new business packet to open the business legal anyway. And then once it get inspected, they will go check and make sure it has everything that it needs to have to operate as a motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental shop.
Well, and, you know, truck hydraulic, I looked in your ordinance, there is no provision for that. It all falls under this umbrella of motor vehicles, sales, service, and it even includes leasing.
That's not correct, sir.
So
That's not correct, because sometimes they just go under service if they're just doing service to vehicles.
sometime what?
They go under service if they're just providing a specific service. They're doing a full-blown automotive shop. So they're fixing cars, repairing cars, selling cars, all that. That was not done at that building, and that's why they said that he couldn't go as non-conforming.
It's the exact same category, establishment for the sale, rental of motor vehicles and/or the repair or servicing of the same vehicles, including painting, spraying, body, fender, basically anything you can think of. So we contend there's no difference if you work on a truck that has hydraulics on it or if you work on a truck that has, you know, whatever, some other thing you're doing to it. This category covers, and it looks like it's meant to cover pretty much anything you do to work on vehicles. And there's no specific category that says, oh, you know, he works on hydraulic trucks. That category of trucks, you only can work on that. Wouldn't make any sense. Otherwise, you'd have to get a permit to work on pickup trucks, cars, SUVs. No, this talks about all motor vehicles. And that's what they did there before since 1986. If they didn't, why would they have these giant garage door that you can clearly drive trucks into and have this, you know, giant bay in there to work on vehicles? So I think zoning might be looking at it too narrowly. I don't know that there is, I looked through the zoning ordinance, that there is a category that specifically says to work on trucks with hydraulics. I don't think it would make any difference what kind of truck.
Chair, typically I would not speak on this, but we have all been involved in this particular address. So just one thing to read from the ordinance about the 1-year period. A non-conforming use shall be presumed abandoned when operations associated with the non-conforming use have ceased by apparent act or failure to act on the part of the tenant or owner to reinstate such use within 1 year. So the time frame of the events is a little different from what was stated here. So what initially had happened was the business was operating without a new business packet, without anything. So it was brought to the zoning officer's attention that that's what was going on. So then he in turn went to the current BCO at that time with Steve and said, hey, you know, they want to do motor vehicles. And we would confer with the BCO for the building code side because we didn't want anyone to, you know, do a new business packet, go through the process, get to the point of a certificate of occupancy and find out that it's too much of a change of use and they can't do that. So that's what we do. We would confer with them on different things and also on a zoning determination, or what is now a notice of violation, an NOV. It is a paragraph that states you may obtain zoning approval, but that doesn't necessarily mean that building codes you're going to get approval there, or that you might not need some other things that may, you know, be costly or that sort of thing. So when the gentlemen came in, several of them came in, it was, well, it's automotive, but we're just putting computers in there. And Steve said that at that period of time, he said, no, they're going to have to go through zoning because it is not a non-conforming continuation from a hydraulics to motor vehicle sales, service, and whatever the last thing is. On
I'm hearing about 4 different things there, but as far as codes go, we're only here on zoning. And I do know that almost every zoning ordinance I saw says if you don't use a non-conforming use for a year, you lose it. But almost every case every case I see, and I have it spelled out for you, says Pennsylvania's law is clear that abandonment of a non-conforming use requires 2 things. Number 1, an intent to abandon it. And number 2, actual abandonment. And, you know, we don't have that in this case. But I think the city's reading of it is way too narrow. I mean, what difference does it make if you're working on a truck, on the hydraulic part of the truck, or you're working on the engine, or you're working on the body? This definition of motor vehicle that I cited to you, 4.06001 on Exhibit 2, anticipates all that in there. And that's the definition. Even that, I think even the zoning officer cited that, yeah, 4.06001. And so we think we fall within that category. If we don't, then we would ask you to recommend the variance, because like I say, it's not financial in nature, it's not self-created, it's clearly a hardship if they can't use that building for anything else. The uses in that UN2 zone, as you know, are very, very restrictive. Trying to convert that building into some kind of residential use is just about impossible. So this is the highest and best use for this property.
Any other question from commission?
So what is it currently zoned as?
It was under motor vehicle services from the hydraulic place. And then when they went to do it, we was trying to put it under motor vehicles, sales, repairs, and rentals. And that's where the hiccup came.
Is the intent to sell cars out of this location too? Is it only going to be motor vehicle service?
Yes.
So why try to push it into a different category?
When they originally came to me, they said they wanted to sell cars too, because they get cars from the auction. So I'm so confused, because the testimony that's being said tonight is different from the conversations we had in my office with Nancy involved. So I'm at a loss for words right now.
So if there is no sales or anything happening, then them being in front of us right now is not a thing.
Just
1 second, sir.
I actually, when I spoke to him, if I may, I had spoke to Montanez, and I did tell him that we sell cars, but maybe he didn't hear me fully, but I told him specifically not out of this location.
So
I said, I do sell cars, but not out of this location at all. This location is purely for service and programming and servicing cars. The cars that get sold by us, because we are dealers also, they are sold. Like, for instance, I might take it to Pete's car lot in Manchester or something. You see what I'm saying? And sell it at his lot. It's not sold here because there's no space to sell any cars here. There's no space for anybody to see or me to advertise the vehicles or anything like that. So this shop is purely a repair shop and a programming shop.
And I think from what I'm hearing, I don't know your name, but you make a great point. I mean, if they're saying the non-conforming use is under 4.06002, motor vehicle service, I think you can live with that, right? Yeah, I mean, that's, if that's the issue,
I mean,
we've been trying to get a hold of the city ever since that thing was filed.
I think what I'm saying, sir, with all due respect, I think what I'm saying is that if it is only motor vehicle service and it is currently zoned for motor vehicle service, then we can end our conversation now, correct?
So what did you just ask? I'm
If
sorry.
it's currently zoned to be a service center, and that is all they're going to do in that location, then we can end our conversation
Okay,
now.
so that's not exactly correct, okay? Because it's not currently zoned. When it was a hydraulics place back in 1985.
86.
86,
Truck-
there was no use attached with that. The ordinance wasn't the same as it is now, okay? Because our ordinance is just from 2009 up till the current time.
Well, if this preceded the ordinance, that's what non-conforming
But
use is all about.
what the issue was that when they came into stating that they're running a business there, they didn't have a new business packet. Okay, they come in to fill out a new business packet, but then it was asked of the current building, hey, is this close enough to what it was? Because Monty did come in my office and I said, let's talk to Steve, because if there's ever a question, now of course he's retired now, but if there's ever a question, we can go to our current BCO people and say, hey, you know what, this person wants to start this business, and here's what it was before, and and now it's been over a year since it's been that business also, and he stated, no, it's too far to one side or the other because it's not going to go through the building code process. Not stating that one is, they are both separate things. You know, you got your building codes and your zoning, but we're not trying to put people through through a new business packet, and then boom, they get stopped with building codes. That's why we've put that paragraph in there, because many times people come back and say, hey, you know, you didn't tell us that we're going to need this, this, and this for building codes, and it's going to cost us an exorbitant amount of money to bring it up to code standards. So that's why we do that. And that's what, this is what structured this conversation.
So-
And then when they continued to run the business, to stay open without zoning, without going to file a zoning appeal, or without, you know, the new business packet, that is why the condemnation was put on the building at that time. It wasn't because, you know, it wasn't a non-conforming, it was because they continued to run the business and leave it and remain it open like that.
So, after all of that,
I'm sorry.
what I'm understanding is that the old ordinance was for an auto service center. Correct? Is that what we're saying?
In 1988.
I have no idea what the ordinance read back in 1985.
But
That's what we was going under.
Okay, so that's what they want to continue to do. So what we need to do then is say whether we recommend the next group say yes or no to that, because they're doing what was there before. Is that why we're here now? Because the ordinance that was operating there before, whether they might have accidentally said that they were going to sell cars or something, if they're only doing service, you're saying that they still need to come in front of us because they need an upgrade to the zone, because that particular zoning law does not exist anymore. Okay.
Currently, they're applying under the current
Right, because it doesn't.
ordinance, which was updated 2009, I believe. So that's the one we have to look at, not the previous ordinance.
Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Did you have anything else, sir?
No, only to say that if there was some mix-up and they thought it was motor vehicle sales, repair, rental, and it should be motor vehicle service, we're okay with that, because they don't intend to sell out of there anyway.
You, sir? Could you provide your name for the record?
Good evening. I'm Charlie Miller. This is my brother Dave. We're the owners of Miller Brothers Vacuette Sales Company, better known as York's Vacuum Cleaner Hospital. We've been in business 52 years. I knew Jim Mayer. I never saw a vehicle serviced in there. So we're looking at usage. He didn't service vehicles. He worked on hydraulic jacks that you carried into the shop. You dropped them off. You were there maybe 10 minutes. You came back later and you picked them up.
Is this speculation?
Now, just a minute, sir. Did you ever live there? Did you ever live there?
You wait until the objection is heard and then you can speak.
Okay.
We're going to listen to this. I'm listening to this gentleman. I'm listening to this gentleman.
Don't be rude and interrupt.
Ma'am,
I'm listening to this gentleman right now. You'll have a turn.
Yeah, don't interrupt me again, please.
I will if I object. Yes, that's my job.
Well, I object to you.
Well,
Did you
go
ever
ahead.
live there?
No, I did not.
You said you've been a vacuum cleaner shop ever since you
Can we have some order here?
We were there. We saw what went on. You weren't there. You didn't live there.
Gentlemen, can we have some order?
Yes.
I said
okay.
I would listen to your comments after he's finished.
Okay, what I'm trying to establish is that's been a vacuum cleaner repair shop and sales for 97 years. We are pro-business. We like business in York. But we have some questions. Parking is a problem. And I have a correction. Dwayne is an employee. He's not an owner. So whatever conversation you had with him should be discounted.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, the other gentleman said Dwayne, mentioned Dwayne. Yeah. And we did have some parking problems already with that. So anyhow, parking is a problem. We own 4 properties there. We have 7 rentals. Everybody has to park on the street. Everybody's vying for parking spots. And as far as Dave and I and our employees, we have off-street parking in the rear of our buildings. So we don't park on the street. But our customers do, and they're always trying to find a parking spot. And it's the livelihood of our business. If people don't have parking, they're not going to carry a vacuum cleaner 2 blocks to come into our shop. And we're just, and the average customer in our business is there only 5 to 10 minutes. And that's the way it was with Jim Mara. They were only there 10 to 15 minutes at most. And it was a pickup and drop off point. Now, when you're looking at doing repairs on cars, a hydraulic jack is not the size of a car. What are they going to do with where are they going to park all their inventory? Where are they going to park all their cars? And you can't go back on Gas Alley, which I don't know if they're parking back there or not, but Gas Alley is a problem. I mean, there's no parking. There's no place to park. And from what I understand, I think that block is in the historical district of York. Why would you want a car repair shop in the historic district of York? So that's all I have to say. And I've known Jim Mara, and that's been a hydraulic jack repair shop for 30 years or more. And it never was an automobile and never being worked on, as far as I can tell. So, any questions?
Yes, I have one, actually.
Okay.
Gas Alley.
In the microphone so that because it's being recorded, please, thank you.
Yeah, as far as parking is the issue on that street, we can see it's very congested there. But the reality is that I do have a parking lot behind the building on Gas Avenue, and it can park up to 10 cars there, and it's not in the middle of a street; it's its own property. And at the end of the day, it's right next to another guy that has his own little garage, but it's right next to it. It's been paved and black topped and everything, and it's out the way. It's not in anybody's way. It's not on anybody else's property, and it's solely by itself. And so, far as the parking for the clients and customers, I see the size of the shop, and I understand his concern. It's just that if you're running your business properly, okay, you should not have so much overflow to the point that you would even need parking on the street. If you look at the pictures that I have provided in the packets, the thing is that the backyard space of the building itself, you can park about 10 cars on, which has nothing to do with the on-street parking once again. And then I do have a adjacent lot to the building itself that we are permitted to park on also. And we're not parking like cars that are junk cars on it. These are whole running and driving cars. There may be something that they may need, like new rotors on the car or something of the sort, but these cars will be in and out. These aren't like, it's not a situation like we're doing like whole engine swaps and repairs where we're going to have cars there for days and this and that, and everything that I do is by appointment only, to be honest with you. I make appointments for people to come to my shop. I don't really have the situation where now of course the public comes in, they'll come through and they want to inquire, but you still have to have an appointment no matter what. Because like most shops, they're busy. You have to come at the appointment date and drop your car off then. It's about scheduling and planning your job, which makes the community better and feel better. And this gentleman right here not have to worry about the parking. So by that being the case, I would just plan everything the way that I usually do, because I don't like the overwhelming sense of all of the cards and stuff either. And as far as us being in the building, the only thing that we've done to the building, to be honest with you, is clean it. We cleaned everything out. We got rid of all the foliage and all of that kind of stuff, and whatever amendments we would have to make, then we're willing to make that.
Let me ask you a question while you're up there. This building has this giant garage door on it.
Yes.
How tall is that door? Do you know?
It's big enough to pull a tractor trailer in there.
Okay. And does the front of the building say truck repair?
It does say truck repair on it.
Okay. And in the building, does it still have giant cranes inside there, like hoists?
Yes, hoist from the ceiling.
For lifting things?
Yes.
Okay. So do you agree with some a speculation that this wasn't used for truck repair?
No, I believe according to how the building's set up and everything, that it would be used for truck repair, just for the simple fact that when I have a Class A license myself, so I have trucks with hydraulic systems on it. Now, if I needed to get, like, even down to our dump trucks, let's just say the hydraulic booms on the truck are hydraulic, so therefore, when you pull the truck into it, you're going to have certain cranes and stuff to lift the back of the truck off of the frame of the body, if you were to work on a truck in there. So therefore, yes, and it says truck repair on the and hydraulic and truck repair on the building. So I would assume that it was done for all hydraulic vehicles, because yes, he did work on lifts. He did work on the lifts, the little forklift type stuff, and all that kind of stuff. He did work on those too, but it also says truck hydraulic repair. So only trucks out here that have hydraulics on them are tractor trailers and dump trucks.
And would there be any reason to have that big of a garage door if all
No.
you're doing is bringing in small?
No,
hydraulic
because even
doors?
down to a pickup truck, no truck is bigger than a commercial vehicle. That is a commercial vehicle, please.
Okay,
Thank you. What I'm getting at, it's change of usage. That's been used to portable hydraulic jacks. Maybe weigh 100 pounds, something like that. That's what he worked on. He didn't work on trucks. It's a change of usage. And once he gets the variance, and once that, what's to say he's not going to pull trucks in there and do it? So that's what I'm saying. And in the historical district in York, to allow something like that seems absurd.
Just to hit on the historical aspect of, if you look at the city zoning for the historical area, this garage is really literally like 3 units into the historical area. It's literally right on the edge of the historical zone, because once you pass Penn Street, it's no longer historical, if I'm not mistaken. So by that being the case, and if you look at the corner of Penn Street and Philadelphia, it's a bodega or a little corner store. It's like 2 houses and then the shop. Literally, it's like, and the parking lot that you guys own, that the city owns, is right on the corner also. I'm literally across the street on the edge of the historic zone.
Still historical. Jane Stanball, 129 North Penn Street. I have been in that neighborhood since 1977. I lived in that neighborhood for a lot of years. I moved out of the neighborhood. I own properties. These are the cards that I got for the properties that I own in that neighborhood. I own 8 properties in the 100 block North Penn Street. I own 4 properties in the 300 block West Gas Avenue. I'd like to know where you think you have a lot on Gas Avenue.
I'll tell you.
Please do.
I'll point it out.
Please do.
If you go on the West Gas Avenue, a lot was purchased on West Gas Avenue. It's not it's right next to 343 actually. That right where you go on gas and you see the people walk up the alley behind the houses
way.
on right there. It's right next to it. It used to be all stone and dirt. It's all asphalt and paved now.
Excuse me. Right here. Ma'am,
Says you own it.
excuse me, ma'am. We're here for one discussion, and that's the use of the building.
Okay.
We can't really speak or have any say in the purview of them having parking spaces. That is a conversation that you guys can have outside
Sir,
of this.
I'm in the process of buying the 2 lots at 355, 357
Our
West
meeting
Gas
tonight-
Avenue.
Our meeting
I have the
tonight-
agreement of sale here.
Our
These,
meeting tonight is about the use
okay.
for them to use
And
that.
I oppose the use because of the parking.
The parking lot and the use
I have-
right now, we're not talking about parking tonight. So if you have any questions for the board about the use that we're discussing.
I have, sir, I mean no disrespect, but I am highly upset because I have been in that neighborhood since 1977. I have never known anyone to work on vehicles in that building. When I moved in, there was an elderly gentleman and his partner that sold junk, that sold furniture out of that building. The next thing I knew, it was a hydraulic jack repair. Hydraulic jacks, not vehicles. I have been around there. I have a large interest in that neighborhood. And you putting in an auto repair shop, that's
What are you going to bring up on TV?
that challenges my ability to make money on my properties. I have a right to make money on my properties. I have one property that I'm going to list for sale very soon. Now, the parking in that neighborhood is horrendous.
Ma'am, with all due
Now,
respect,
okay,
ma'am, I also live in that neighborhood. I know the parking's horrendous. What I'm saying is that we're here under one discussion, and parking is not part of that.
okay, I would love to sell my property as owner occupied. Now, with the parking situation the way it is, that lowers the chance of my selling it as owner occupied.
Thank you.
And it also lowers the value of my property as a rental property. And I hope they don't plan on parking on my lots.
Yeah, I'm the other brother, Dave Miller. I feel bad for the guy that bought the property under false pretenses. It's not an auto repair shop. It never was. It was always hydraulics. Guys would pull up and unload their hydraulics and let them there and leave. You know, it could be a barber shop, it could be a tattoo shop, it could be anything, but it can't be a car repair shop. There's no place to park. When I left tonight in Gas Alley, they're working in the back in a warehouse. There was almost 30 cars in that parking lot. It was packed. I mean, how can you have a repair shop and no place to park? Yeah, you say, oh, well, they won't park here. They're going to make appointments. But you know how repair shops are. You wait, you pull in, and there's no place to park on West Philadelphia Street. We have tenants. Some of them have 2 cars, some have 3 cars. They got to walk. They got to park on Penn Street or up on 400 block of West Philly, and they got to walk. It's just not right. You got to use common sense. There's no place to park. You can't have a repair shop there with cars. It just won't work. It's a hard shop. It'd be a hardship for our tenants and our customers. We might as well lock the door if there's no place to park. Just like you pull up to drop off a vacuum and you can't even get out. You have to walk a couple blocks. It just can't be.
And it will definitely be a hardship for me as a long-standing landlord who has a reputation of being one of the better landlords in this city.
Sir, you had a comment.
Well, I would just say, first of all, it's not zoned for a barber shop or a tattoo shop. That would create a traffic problem. If you look at this, it does look like a historic building. In fact, I love old garages, and you know, if they didn't have it, I'd love to have it for old cars. But and if obviously, you know, you're all from the city, you pass it every day. It says right on the sign that was painted there in '86, I guess, truck repair. And it has a ginormous door, obviously, for trucks. And inside it, it has cranes that are way up. You don't build that unless you're working on vehicles.
Well,
That's my only comment. And to hear speculation who really don't know what he did there, because why would he paint on the window hydraulic truck repair?
Can we stick to that? If we don't,
Yeah, what happens if we don't decide to do anything? But if we don't have a recommendation?
The table.
No.
So if you just decide not to make a recommendation,
I'm saying
they can
that's
still, They
I'm
could,
saying as far as the current use for what it is zoned as. The current use, even though it might be a little different in 2025 than it was in 1986, the current use is an auto service center.
an auto repair, yeah.
Yes. So,
Well, it actually is not an auto repair as of yet because they have not completed a new business packet. So right now it is just,
In limbo.
it's.
it was 2021 and Mr. Mayor was still alive.
Mhm.
It was zoned as an auto service center. Yes?
And
Wait, ma'am, give us 1 second.
No. Well, no, because in 1985, the zoning ordinance, it was a hydraulic shop, but it wasn't, that wasn't our current ordinance, okay?
I think I'm confused. I'm not saying about what it is right now. I'm saying
and
if Mr. Mayor was still alive, when he got this place zoned commercially for what it is, it was under an auto service center.
Yes.
No, I didn't even hear the question. I'm looking. I got a message from somebody. Say that again. I'm sorry.
What was the previous zoning before Mr. Mayor died?
while he was alive.
So we don't know that, okay, because it's 1985. All right, so I didn't work, I'm sorry.
What happened in
Correct, but no one questioned, no one came in. So if you had a shop from 1985 on up to 2021 when you passed away,
Big garage.
I'm sorry,
Pass by it, you're gonna think it's a car dealer, car shop. There's nothing else to do with that, but a car.
personally, it's just, I pass by it all the time. It's a garage door and the front of it, and I know it says it was hydraulics. So, but no one, so if someone has a shop, anything, any business that was been there since 1985, and now he dies, and now the person is going to put something else in there, the new owners are gonna put something else in there. If it has been longer than a year, it's considered abandoned, the use, regardless of what it was, okay, first of all. And then secondly, we don't know back in 1985 when he first established the hydraulic business, what ordinance that he had to go through, if he had to go through
So
it that time.
basically, this place has never been inspected since 1985?
I can't answer that, but probably not. There was no reason,
City,
I'm sorry.
that's the York City's fault.
We're getting
Well, you get a certificate of occupancy when you open up a business, and it gets inspected. I can't answer that. I don't know the building codes. That's the whole different thing. I don't know how often they inspect commercial properties.
Bring up 1 point so we can, in the interest of time, because we've heard
Going on.
the arguments and position on each part. Give me 1 second, man.
Okay.
In fact and appearance, the building is labeled as truck hydraulic repair. Has a name truck. And, just hear me. In fact, that is the label, and then we can infer that given that it has a high garage door, there were large objects. It made room for large objects. So given that, the prior use will be substantially similar to the intended current use. Now, can we either move on that or to the table?
I would ask that you not table it no matter what the decision is, because they've been shut down with a notice of condemnation, which by the way, the notice says 377 West Philadelphia Street, which caused a lot of confusion, but they've been red tagged now, and they're leasing this building. It's just sitting there empty. Next thing you know, probably bums will go in there, or some of their tenants might go in there. Tear the place up. You never
I
know.
don't think so. I don't think so. I have better
Okay.
quality tenants than that. Don't insult me as a landlord.
So we can move on.
There's a lady standing behind you who's going to speak
So
next.
just to clarify, we did research pallet trucks that is on the glass of the building, and it is not a truck. It is not a vehicle.
Pallet jack.
Yes, ma'am.
Pallet jack, that's what it is for that. Regardless of what it was zoned as, or what it could have been zoned as in 1985, it has lost its use. For over a year. So that is why,
Okay.
regardless of anything else, so they need to file the.
Could you provide your name, please?
Tammy Harvey Bethay.
And you,
I am the Director of Economic and Community Development. I've been listening and I've been getting emails about this property. We have been going back and forth about this property. What I can say is right now, I would like it tabled because of my position here and my staff. I have to get with UCC and I have to find out the answers that nobody have right now, what the use of the property was. Only UCC right now can answer that, codes. Right? So I'm sorry, I understand your plight, I do. But that area is residential. Repair, from what I know, in that zoning area, it cannot be used for, it's general repair, but when you start getting into oils, paints, all kinds of stuff like that, that is not a use in that area. So, by that being said, I'm standing up because it would be wrong for me not to speak up and let y'all make that decision without something legally in writing. And I'm sorry, I know you have your representatives here right now, but I could not within myself stand here and let something be put in that area that may not be legal for that residential area. So that's why I'm standing up. Let me get more information for you guys and make sure, because I look back as far as the information that they're talking about, 1985. Codes have changed since then, and that's the problem we're having right now in our department. Codes have changed and have progressed since then, and different uses have changed. So I know what you're talking about. Maybe this happened to grandfather then. We have a lot of that right now. A lot of people having problems with not getting their processes through, but I have to go with my team right now, and he have to go through the legal process. He have to go through some things right now before I think this could be resolved.
And could I just respond to that? This has nothing to do with economic development. It's not.
Yes, it does.
This is.
Yes, it does.
zoning.
That zoning is economic and this is my staff.
it's under the same department.
It's under the department, I used to work for that department, but zoning and your board is completely separate, and codes are completely separate.
No, it's not.
So
That's my whole
when you
staff.
talk about a non-conforming use. You're talking about a use that existed, in this case, a commercial use in a residential neighborhood, before the zoning changed that to a residential neighborhood. That's the whole idea of a non-conforming use. If you look at my exhibits, number 4 and 5 are assessment records, which clearly say this was used as auto service. As far as getting more information from UCC, that wouldn't bear on this at all.
There's a
And
different.
I did a right to know. Remember, we're going back to April when this thing was shut down. I did a right to know, and I have it there for you, both my request and the response. I've been in touch with Montanez. I've been in touch with Buffington. I've been in touch with your new city solicitor from Eckert Seaman, Brett Flower. She has assured me there's no other documentation on this property. So that's why I'm saying if we keep delaying it, you know, we would rather have an answer, win, lose, or draw, because, you know, these poor people are out of business. They red tagged. And I'm not quite sure why it was red tagged, because they did apply for the variance as soon as zoning told them to.
And do they have the variance?
No, they didn't. They continued to operate a business without anything, without a certificate of occupancy, without going to zoning. That's why they were condemned. That's why it was red tagged. That's,
Go to zoning next?
I'm sorry.
It goes to
Yes,
zoning next?
exactly.
This week?
No.
Table.
Is that the right, that's the right motion to make though?
Thank you.
Now, that man said that the neighbors all want them to move in.
I did not say that. I said that neighbors have came to me and they welcome me, is what I said. I didn't say all.
Okay, the neighbors. The neighbors. Okay, I spoke to 6 residents of the 100 block North Penn Street today, and none of them approve. None of them want you in there.
That's not part of this.
That is not ours.
That's not part of this.
Yeah, we're not going to argue. So let me just state this as the last statement.
Nope, that's.
This is just a
nope.
recommending board.
All right, I make a motion to table this in lieu of letting this issue go to zoning.
Second.
It's not going to zoning
Okay,
if
it
we
still
table.
go to zoning though.
No, it does not go to zoning if we table it.
Yeah. See,
So then I don't want to table it. I withdraw that motion. I don't want to table it. We can move to have it finished without a recommendation. So is there a motion that we can say to just not make a recommendation and let this become zoning's problem?
Yeah, you can do that.
So Nancy, can we make a motion to not make a recommendation on this case?
Yes, you can. But that does not, if you choose not to make a recommendation, because this is just a recommending board for all those in attendance here, then they can still go to zoning.
Okay, I make a motion to not make a recommendation to the zoning hearing board.
We have that other motion, don't we have to retreat that one?
It
I
wasn't-
did,
there was
I
no
did
second.
withdraw it.
Okay.
Is there a second for the motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Who seconded that?
Me.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes. This should give the city enough time to find out some more information, and we can address this issue next meeting. Our next case is 24-2025- oh,
Applicant is Rosa Tavares, 229 Kurtz Avenue, York, PA 17401. Owner of the property is Fabulous Properties LLC, 630 Butter Road, Dover, PA 17315. Zoning district is Urban Residential Neighborhood District, which is the UN2. The summary applicant seeks a variance to operate a day spa at 51 Hamilton Ave. Variance 1 is for the use. The applicant seeks a variance to operate a day spa as defined in section 1304.01.408.004 for the property at 51 Hamilton Avenue in the RS2 zoning district. No, that's supposed to be UN2. Variance to appeal, the zoning ordinance requires one space per 200 square feet of gross floor area. The applicant is seeking a variance to reduce the number of off-street parking spaces. Staff have reviewed the variance provision in 1311.10.d and finds that the property does not have unique physical circumstances or condition that warrant relief from the requirement of the one space per 200 square feet. Therefore, staff recommend denial of the variance to the minimum number of parking spaces required for a day spot for the property at 51 Hamilton Avenue.
My name is Rosa. Rosa Taveras.
I'm gonna actually translate for her. Okay. And my name is Marlene Familia. I'm just translating for her.
Estoy aquí hoy con mucho respeto para pedir su apoyo y aprobación para abrir mi negocio de belleza. ¿Lo debo entero y tú lo debes entero?
Eso, termina ahí.
Mi negocio de belleza en el local donde anteriormente funcionaba una mueblería en la 51 Hamilton Avenue.
My name is Rosa, and I'm here today to respectfully request your approval to allow me to open my beauty business in the former furniture store located at 51 Hamilton Avenue.
Este espacio ha estado vacío por mucho tiempo y mi propósito es devolverle vida y valor, no solo para mí como empresaria, sino también para nuestra comunidad.
This space has been empty for some time, and my goal is to bring life and value back to it, not just for myself, but for the community.
Permítame explicarle por qué este negocio sería beneficioso.
Here's why I believe this business is a benefit, not a burden.
Número 1, valor comunitario. Un negocio de belleza no es solamente cabello, uñas o cuidado de la piel. Es un lugar donde las personas vienen a sentirse seguras, cuidadas y orgullosas de sí mismas. Es un espacio que promueve bienestar, autoestima y unión en la comunidad.
Community value, a beauty business is more than just hair, nails, and skincare. It's a place where people come to feel confident, cared for, and connected. It promotes wellness, self-esteem, and community pride.
El próximo es crecimiento económico. Voy a generar empleos, apoyar a suplidores locales y atraer tráfico constante al área. Lo que hoy es un local inactivo puede convertirse en un espacio que contribuya activamente a la economía local.
Economic growth. I will be creating jobs, supporting local suppliers, and bringing consistent foot traffic to the area. What was once an inactive property can become an active contributor to our local economy.
Uso inteligente del espacio. La antigua mueblería ya contaba con el tamaño, estacionamiento y distribución necesaria para este tipo de negocio. En vez de dejarlo abandonado, yo estoy lista para adaptarlo de manera responsable, cumpliendo con los requisitos de seguridad y zonificación.
Smart use of the space. The former furniture store already has the size, parking, and the layout needed for my business. Rather than let it sit unused, I am ready to repurpose it responsibly in line with safety and zoning requirements.
Impacto positivo en el vecindario. A diferencia de otros negocios que generan ruido o tráfico excesivo, un salón de belleza funciona en horarios razonables y principalmente por citas. Eso significa bajo impacto, un flujo ordenado y un ambiente seguro.
Positive impact on the neighborhood. Unlike some businesses that create heavy noise or traffic, a beauty business operates during reasonable hours and caters to clients by appointment. This means low disturbance, steady flow, and a safe environment.
Compromiso con la excelencia. Como dueña de un pequeño negocio, estoy totalmente comprometida a mantener un establecimiento limpio, profesional y acogedor. Mi meta no es solo operar allí, sino elevar el área donde me instalo.
Commitment to excellence. As a small business owner, I am fully invested in manifesting a clean, professional, and welcoming establishment. My goal is to elevate the area, not just operate in it.
Entiendo que las ordenanzas de zonificación existen para mantener orden y seguridad, pero hoy les pido que vean el panorama completo. Transformar un local vacío en un negocio que embellece, da empleo y sirve y sirve a nuestra comunidad.
I understand zoning ordinances exist for order and safety, but I ask you to consider the bigger picture, transforming a vacant property into a business that uplifts, employs, and serves the community.
Con su aprobación puedo convertir un espacio sin uso en un lugar que traerá belleza, oportunidades y crecimiento a York.
With your approval, I can turn an empty storefront into a thriving space that brings beauty, opportunity, and growth to York.
Muchas gracias por su tiempo y servicio y su consideración.
Thank you for your time, your service, and your consideration.
I make a motion to approve a variance to allow hair care as defined in section 1304.01-4.08.001
For the property of 51 Hamilton Avenue in the RS2 zoning district. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Johnson,
Abstain.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore,
Aye.
Gaines.
Motion passes. Do we have a motion for the parking variance?
I recommend to approve a variance of the required off-street parking spaces found in section 1304.01-4.08.001D for the property of 51 Hamilton Avenue on RSD2 zoning district.
Second.
Motion and second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Johnson,
Abstain.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Clarification, are we supposed to be here for the next hearing next week? Yes. Yes? Okay, and that's the final one? Yes. Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so
I
much.
yield back to the chair.
Next case is 25-2025-C-204 South Allen.
Owner applicant are the same Joel Jackson, 1200 Taxville Road, York, PA 17408, zoning district RS2, single family attached residential conservation district. Applicant would like to convert a single family dwelling into a 2-unit multifamily dwelling. Variance 1. The applicant seeks a definition variance since the proposed use does not meet the ordinance requirement of conversion from industrial, institutional, or commercial. This property is a single-family home. Staff have reviewed the variance provision in 1311.10.d. Therefore, staff recommends denial of a definition variance to allow 2 units for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street. Variance 2, the applicant seeks a variance to the special exception condition that the property has not been vacant for 2 years of section 1311.11. Subsection C. Therefore, staff recommends denial of a variance to the special exception condition of the property being vacant for 2 years for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street. Special exception for the use. The zoning ordinance permits multifamily conversion from a different use by special exception in the zoning district in section 1304.1.1.002.002. Staff have reviewed the special exception provisions for this property. Therefore, staff recommend approval of the request for a special exception to allow multifamily dwelling at 204 South Albemarle pending all variances are approved.
Good evening, Board. This is the property in question. Again, my name is Joel Jackson, and I bought it as an investment in August of 2008. And in the packets, you should see that there. It's been 17 years. And I've had it as a 2-unit, even though I did not know it was not zoned as a 2-unit. And if you'll look at this This is 2009, and when the fire company inspected, it says 2. So all these years I've had it, and then this year I found out it wasn't zoned as a 2 unit. And if you can see, it wasn't modified or any kind of construction. If you know this area, on Albemarle Street, there's one door there, 1950s. And this is a 2-bedroom, and this is a 4. And this came about, and I was pretty shocked. It's been inspected every second year, and then you get your tenant occupancy in the by year. All this time, the deed just shows the date and the former owner that had it. Just give me a minute. So much paperwork here. I want to show you this. It had 2 meters, and they're old, so you can tell, and 2, I don't know if I have this one in your packet because I took the picture, 2 gas meters and 2 electric meters since I got it. And so it was news to me, but I also wanted to show you the parking, the Google Earth, and they talk about 1.5 spaces. And if you look, there's 2 pads in the back. One has a shed. So there's your 3, because I think they say 1.5 and 1.5. And this is the aerial view of the property. And some of those photos in there, you'll see where the cars are parked for both pads. And if you know that area, the side street, I think it's, let's see, is it Edison? Near the park and South Albemarle, there's always spaces out there for cars. And the 2 unit up top is usually a mother and a kid or a couple. So they usually just have 1 car. She doesn't even have a car right now. And I also drew you all diagrams of the plot plan and the layout of a floor plan for 1st floor and 2nd floor. So it's got separate kitchens, which I'll show you here in a minute. And like I said, no modifications. It's been like that. I guess it fell through the cracks. And of course, when I invested in the property, I was looking for investments. I was in sales. And the city seemed adequate. The prices were lower back then. And it provides housing for usually a mother and a child or anyone else that's looking for rentals in the city. And every time I have a vacancy, I get 10 to 15 applications and I can only offer 1. So it is massive demand as a side note for that property. Just bear with me. Now, on the narratives, I went over them, and some of these pages were printed off the portal, but it answers all those questions, the 11 questions, and if you want me to go over them, I can. Excuse me? Oh, you're okay with not going through the 11? For the use and the compatibility, and it already has sewer and water. And I've never had a problem. I've been the landlord for 17 years, and I enjoyed it. I do. I fix, a lot of the problems myself, and enjoy being a landlord, believe it or not, and fixing things. And I just want to show you some of the photos, which you have most of them, but just to reiterate, let's just see here. The side view, which you have, of the property and the 2 doors, and then the parking pad in the back. This next one is another parking pad of the far one on the Google Earth, the one over near the white vinyl fence. And then there's another one. This is the one I'm talking about. So then the various bedrooms, which this one, the living room, I think you have that one. another bedroom. And then the side view, there's egress for the first floor. And let me grab, here's the second floor. Up top in the back, there's egress for a balcony on the second floor apartment, which is right here on the second floor. I think that's in the packet too. This is the kitchen on the second floor. It always had a kitchen. I did remodel them inside, put a roof on it and everything, but it had 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms. The second floor, let's see, hold on, the bathroom, here's the bathroom on the second floor. So it was built that way it said 1940 on the MLS. And it was a surprise to me after 17 years, you know, they brought it to my attention, and that's why I'm here today, to get it as it was designed as a 2-unit from day one. I never modified or constructed a 3rd story or anything, and there's another picture you may have. And this door is going to the 2nd unit, and it goes up the stairs, and then there's 2 bedrooms in there with a living room. They're all pretty much the same dimension. And that describes 204 South Albemarle, what it was designed for. It just, I guess it slipped through the cracks, and the realtor never told me it wasn't zoned 17 years ago. I did get it licensed, as you see, from the fire company, and so every year it's passed. In conclusion, I just ask that you approve it as a 2-unit for city apartment tenants, that I never have enough to, if I bought 5 more, I could have rented them all through the years, which is why I invested. I'm semi-retired now, and I ask that you okay it, and I have to go to zoning too in 10 days, so that it can be a 2-unit. There's no business use, charcoal grills, no flammable business-like use. It's strictly a 2-bedroom apartment up there. It's a very nice area. Albemarle Park is out there. And just to provide for the tenants, it's a benefit. And there's adequate parking. If I needed to move the shed, it would be 3 spaces back there. They park, the first floor tenant parks on the one side that I showed you the photo of next to the vinyl fence. And that's the gist of it. And I thank you for your time. Is there any questions?
I would like to say something to the board. The reason why this case came up is because Joe was sent to my office from Michelle, and she informed me that ever since 2014, this property was only getting licensed as a 1-unit, and he was the owner. So if it's always been a 2-unit since 2014, why was it only getting licensed as a 1-unit? So once we figured that out, I was like, well, somebody converted illegal, put you through the process to have you go through zoning to get it legally converted to a 2-unit. So that's how all this really came about. But from 2009 to 2014, it was licensed as a 2-unit? I don't have no records of that. Only thing we got back from QDOT.
He did provide us.
He provided you records, but I don't know how accurate that is, because when QDOT was our third party and they relinquished it back to the city, it was only a 1-unit. And then from there going on, he always licensed it as a 1-unit. So that's why we're here.
Any other questions? Anyone from the public that would like to address this case? So is there a motion for the variance or definition?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a variance to the definition of multifamily conversion from a different use as defined in section 1304.01-1.02.002A for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Aye.
Velez. Burgos. Moore. Gaines.
Motion passes. Do we have a motion for the dimensional variance?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a dimensional variance for multifamily conversion from a different use found in section 1304.01-1.02.002 to include conversion of a single-family home into 2 units for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Do we have a motion for the variance to waive the special exception?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a variance to waive the special exception provision that the property must have been vacant for 2 years under section 1304.01.1.02.002C1 for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes. Motion for special exception to allow multifamily.
I make a motion to recommend approval of a special exception to allow multifamily uses defined under section 1304.01-1.02.002 for the property at 204 South Albemarle Street.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Joe. Next Thursday.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Remember, you guys still come to zone.
Yeah, the 18th.
Yes. Yeah, so I'll just let you know.
Our next case is 26-2025-Z-V, 227 Springdale.
You get your final approval. Yep, got it. Okay, the applicant is Miguel Manzo, 169 East Cottage Place, York, PA 17401. Owner, M&M York Properties LLC, 1455 Memory Lane Extended, York, PA 17402. The zoning district is UN2 Urban Residential Neighborhood District. Applicant seeks a variance to operate a motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental shop at 227 Springdale Road. A variance for the use. The applicant seeks a variance to operate a motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental as defined in section 1304.01-4.06.001 for the property at 227 Springdale Road in the UN2 zoning district. Therefore, staff recommends denial. The request for a variance to allow motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental at 227 Springdale Road. A variance. The zoning ordinance requires 1 off-street parking space for each service bay and 1 off-street parking space per 400 square feet of net floor area devoted to sales and 1 off-street parking space per each employee on its largest shift. The applicant seek a variance to reduce the number of parking spaces. Staff has reviewed the variance of provision 1311.10D and finds that the property does not have unique physical circumstances or conditions that warrant relief from the requirement of one space per 200 square feet. Therefore, staff recommends denial of variance to the minimum number of parking spaces required for a motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental shop for the property at 227 Springdale.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you for giving the opportunity tonight. I want to tell you something a little bit about me. I've been living in here for like 29 years. I had 3 houses for rent, and I've been in the neighborhood for a long time, and I don't have any issues with nobody. And I would like to see that you guys give me the opportunity to like have a business like a auto repair and sell cars right there in the property 227 Springdale. I don't want to do something big. I just want to do something small. Like I don't want to invite nobody in the neighborhood with the parking lot where they live. I want to, if I do something, if you guys give me the opportunity to do something, I want to do inside the building, and whatever the cars fit in the parking lot, fit like 5 or 6 cars in the parking lot, and the building inside fit like 4 cars. So I just want to keep it small. I don't want to invite the neighborhood around. So I don't want nobody. I don't want to invite nobody else. I just want to work in the garage and try to do my my business and help people in the neighborhood. That's the only thing I want to do in this area. I know, I understand before was a construction place in there, and was too much noise. I don't want to keep like neighbors get mad. I want to keep everything like lowest noise I can make in there, like working just in daytime, and that's the only thing I would like to have, like opportunity to have like a business place in there.
Am I looking at this correct? Like, if you pull into the garage, you would drive straight through out?
Yeah, it's going straight out, yep.
It was previously used for the construction company, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, trash, material, customers. I have other pictures that will show you the whole parking lot filled with vans and trucks.
Can you state your name, please?
Michael Miller.
In the microphone.
It's done.
So, it's actually zone commercial mixed use. So what he's doing isn't too different from what has previously been done. He's trying to go through the proper requirements to make everything as legal as it can, and basically abide by your rules.
The lift that was in here, is it already there?
Yes, so that was actually, the previous owners, they actually did heavy equipment and snow removal. So they kept big trucks in there during the winter as well to service and maintenance them. I actually bought it from the owner that had it for ever, so. And I'm not sure about the parking requirements. I believe that we meet it, but I was talking to Monty and he's saying that he found something else besides what I found. I found 5 spots is what's code in Pennsylvania, and that's really all he's trying to use. The parking lot can hold 15, 20 cars. So there's no problem with parking. He's never parked on the street or in the street. We don't need any street parking.
Well, auto mechanics or automobile repair shops do not get street parking anyway.
Yeah, we're
They
not
have to
asking
keep
for it. I
they
don't
have
know
to
why the
keep-
variant says that. I'm trying to argue that with Monty, but.
So it's how big is the property? What's the square footage?
I don't know the exact square footage, but I believe like.
So it's one off-street parking space for every 400 square feet, one off-street parking space for each service bay. How many service bays are you gonna have?
We have
One. So that's one, and I don't know how big the place is, and for how many employees?
Just one.
Okay, other than that, I can't answer the rest of that for Monty. I'm not sure on that. I'm just reading what the ordinance is.
Difference between the construction site use and him working on cars inside, not bothering anybody.
Is there not also, if I'm not mistaken, now you can answer this, I'm not sure on this particular case, is the property also, on that property, is there not apartments also?
No, there's not.
There's not, I mean, isn't there a house or something?
No.
No, okay, I thought there was.
It's just a single building by itself.
Okay.
You can pull completely through the building onto the alley. And I believe we meet the proper parking spots without the variance. But I'm gonna look that up to you guys.
Any further?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it both the like cinder block building and the white building?
No, it's just the one that's recessed off the road, so it's actually back in.
Okay.
Yeah, so that whole parking lot is ours.
Any other questions? Anyone from the public that would like to address this case? Yes, sir.
Good evening. Michael Sell, Sell, S-E-L-L. Yes. Live at 231 Springdale Road. I have lived there for 25 years. I do not know from when there was a snow removal business there. The last business that I would see going in and out was Crawford Construction. There had been another construction company in there prior to that. They would always be in 7 o'clock in the morning, roughly 6:30 at earliest. After 6 o'clock, we would never hear anything out of them. They would be in and gone. The building itself, right now, there is marked off on the parking lot 5 parking spaces. There's presently 6 vehicles there. My question is with this, I mean, where is the dumpster going if you're having additional cars? The building backs up right onto the alleyway, which is a public alley, which is Hart. Our biggest concern is going to be noise, smell, which we have never had any issue of. We have in the past had, since within the last 2 months, the smell of paint, which we've never had. As far as Springdale, it's a rather heavily traveled road between buses. There's a fair amount of truck traffic and a lot of car traffic. A lot of it is going back and forth from Queen Street over to York Catholic. The weekends, of course, with the ice arena and everything going on, there's heavy traffic. Several weeks ago, it would have been in July, we had 2 tow trucks that was within the area. So we're going to have to adjust to tow trucks being in and out with vehicles, what have you. I mean, these are just some of the concerns, because we're a relatively quiet residential area, and we've really never had any issue with any of the businesses within the building, and that's where our concerns lie. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been working with the hazardous waste. I know about the smell, but changing oil or changing brakes don't gonna smell anything. I mean, I'm gonna give any smell to the neighbors around, because we don't want to do nothing crazy. We just want to do like, if you guys give me the opportunity, like changing brakes, changing motors, and we don't want to work to like all night. We just want to work like regular hours. We don't want to be passing like working to midnight all night long, or we just whatever is you guys tell me to close the building, or how I don't know. It's my first time, so I don't know how long I can work in that place, like in daytime. I don't want to invite nobody. I mean, I just want to work something out with my neighbors around. I don't want to I want to get my neighbors pissed off with me. I want to work with all my neighbors. I don't want to be, bad people with the neighbors. I've been, like I say, I've been living in Georgia for 29 years. I never have an issue with any neighbors. And you guys can check my record. I have a clean record. I don't have any issues with nobody.
And with that being said, the difference in tow trucks is no difference in trucks and trailers and everything else being brought in and out of this property from over ever.
We just want to try to go in and out with the tow trucks. Like if one car got broke down, we want to bring it inside. We don't want to be staying like outside in the street, like blocking neighbors' entrance or anything like that. So I don't want to be like blocking nobody's house entrance or parkings from the neighbors goes around the neighborhood.
There is actually a sign in front of the property that says no parking as well, so you can't block the street.
Those, just for a little FYI, they're talking about the city signs as the other property was. They're put there because no one is allowed to block a garage, period. Even if it's your garage or even my personal garage at my house, if I park in front of that, I'm getting a ticket.
Yeah.
So you can't. I'm just wanted to clarify that's why the signs are there like that.
Are there any questions? Anyone else would like to speak to this case? Do we have a motion on the variance to allow motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental?
I make a motion to recommend approval of a variance to allow motor vehicle sales, repair, and rental as defined in section 1304.01-4.06.001 for the property at 227 Springdale Road in,
Second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes. Is there a motion for the variance for required parking?
I guess my question would be, do we actually need that variance?
Yes, they're gonna need the parking variance.
You weren't here when we were talking about that parking.
Yeah, she just made me aware. When we looked it up off of the square footage of the building and everything, I think they fell short about 2 or 3 spots. So that's why they need the parking variance.
Okay, and your intent is to
No.
respect the neighborhood?
Yes,
Yeah.
not use anything on the street.
No.
Okay. I make a motion to recommend approval of a variance to the required off-street parking spaces found in section 1304.01-4.06.001D for the property at 227 Springdale Road.
A second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos,
Aye.
Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You put the heat on. Turn off the AC.
This meeting is way too long.
We stand recessed for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Not used to seeing you so late at night, but thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not used to being up this late at night.
Well, have a good night. Thank you. Very good.
I don't believe so. I believe
Yeah, it's probably not. Yes.
whatever they
Yeah, it locks at 7 o'clock after everybody. They give them an hour to get.
Oh, I didn't know because that lady came in so late.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
She
Look and see if the green light
that's
is
what I was about to go do.
The heat on.
So, I'm freezing. I
I know, I'm
asked
freezing
Dave to get it up in here and he,
So this guy right here, who just got the approval on Springdale, was a car repair or car sale?
they're all together. It's car repair, sales and service and rental, all in one unit.
Okay, but did he explain to y'all, did he ask y'all, where's he talking about oil changes and all that, and that's residential?
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's a residential area over there. Keep in mind, the planning commission is only recommending, okay? So if the neighbors and that wanna come, they really need to come to zoning, because that's who makes the end all be all decision. So, even though if they recommend, yes, and it was a construction, so it was a commercial building prior to this time, it just wasn't a non-conforming continuation. As the neighbor stated, it was a construction business. So the construction, cars and trucks, they would come in, I guess leave, go do what they need to do during the day, park them back in, and by 6 o'clock, they were all done. They're concerned about the motor vehicles is the late hours that they do keep, they're only allowed to be certain hours. You can't have like a second or third shift, and because it is in a residential neighborhood, and it's a noise ordinance, but the noise ordinance isn't under zoning. So, but, they're saying about smell and paint, I don't know about all that, I'm not sure. You know, we haven't been there to, sit there and smell anything out there, so, like I said, it's a recommending approval. And that's what we were trying to say about 371 also. They decided not to make a recommendation or not anything, so but it can still go on to zoning, and all those folks, the residents and everything are fully aware of something. So if you think this one, if you think this one, if you think this one,
He got
okay.
to prove to you where he's going to put that oil. Where is he going to start all the chemicals?
Which one are we talking about now? The most recent one?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's where you get into that paragraph that we added to the zoning determination. So when he goes to, let's say he gets approval for zoning, let's just say it gets approval. After that, he has to do a new business packet, which then will go and they're gonna have to have all those drainage, it's gonna cost him some money.
Yeah.
That's why we stated the 371. The same thing, we weren't trying to necessarily discourage them, we're just trying to tell you it's gonna need some
Well,
stuff.
it was just 371. The only reason why I had a problem with that because I'm the one who was searching for all the background and everything. It just was too much. We have to find out the usage. He kept going back and forth with what his usage.
Well, even so, it's been over a year. It's been more than a year, so it loses its use. I sat here and I read that.
Yeah.
But it does state down further that they can get legal counsel to argue that, to say that, that it abandonment, and it'll say, burden of proof lies on the applicant.
Yeah, because it was actually pallet jacks that was out of that.
Correct. Those are
Pallet
trucks.
jacks.
Yeah, truck pallets are
So
not
that's
trucks. They're
And it's only lubricants that
Oh,
are
I know
used.
that. We
It's
don't have
not
time
a
limits,
discard
but we
of
spent an
oil.
hour and 17 minutes on that. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, trust me,
Yeah.
let me tell you.
Yeah.
No, well, there should be time limits, but zoning spends that on every case, almost every zoning hearing board. It's not, it shouldn't be, but that's.
But
the way it is.
can't you guys? Can't you
So
guys?
we only have the blight yet to go through, so that's it. So who are we missing that?
Yeah, I agree. Say you guys can limit the discussion.
Yeah, the chair has the full authority to do whatever. It's not us. It's the board. I mean, we are here as staff, but they can say, no, that's it, I'm done. Now, see, because zoning hearing board has a solicitor, he's the one who will stop the conversation. Okay. Okay, give me my green, please. Okay, just to the board, because it's also, this is running the whole time, because haven't had Cliff shut it off yet. We just took a brief break. So, the next item up here is for blight. There are 2, 4, 6, 10.
It's actually
And so Floretha Williams, she is our blight coordinator, and she will take it over from here.
What's her first name?
I'm sorry, can you say your name? We didn't hear.
Floretha Williams.
Williams.
Could you hold for a second? I just have a quick question. Your sheets that you handed out with the photos, are those the only criteria that we're following now?
Yes.
Not utilities, not taxes?
No. Just they limited. It was 12, but now it's just the 8.
Who did?
I believe it was the lawyers. This happened before I came on. I think it was Brett, maybe even Don. I can't be sure. It might have even been Jada, or a mixture of the former housing director and the solicitors.
So these are the only criteria that UPC does?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted some clarification.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, I guess we can start with the first one, which is 33 East South Street. Does everybody have the pictures and everything?
Yes.
So now, I guess, at one point you needed one piece of, blight criteria to make the, property valid, but I think you have to have two now. So, with this one, we have one, double I, which I was told to be very clear on that, which is the condition of which contains an attractive nuisance created by physical condition, use, or occupancy, including abandoned water wells, shafts, basements, evacuations, and unsafe fences, or other structures which contain an unauthorized entry, unsafe equipment, or other safety risks. And then the second one was number 5 on the back. A property that has been vacant and has not been rehabilitated within 1 year from receipt of notice or corrective action as issued by the local authority having jurisdiction except a property where a valid construction permit is in place. So this meets both of those criteria, so that's why it's on the blight list.
Has there been any communication with the property owner?
Letters, the blight letters have been mailed out. It has been 30 days. They have 30 days to either appeal it, or make the repairs, so nothing has been done yet on this property.
Did they communicate back with you at all?
No.
Are you sending those notifications certified?
Yes.
What's of the taxes being paid on the property?
On this property, this one, I would have to look at the blight spreadsheet. Oh, hold up. Oh, okay, yeah, so 33, oh, yeah, it does have a small balance, $258. So it's not terribly behind, but that's for 2023.
So the taxes were paid incorrect in 22.
2022. This one here is just, I believe, 2020. No, actually, this is 2025. So it's current. They just haven't paid 2025. Oh, actually, hold on. No, that actually is updated. They have paid 2025. So somebody's paying the taxes, but the property just hasn't been updated to code standard as far as like occupancy or whether they're going to tear it down or what they're going to do with it next. And I believe this is also one of the properties that the city had to come and do the boarding up of the property because the owners didn't come forth and respond to any of the notices about boarding up the property.
Is there a motion?
It's been so long since we've done this, I don't remember how to do it. I make a motion to recommend.
Certify.
I make a motion to certify the property at 33 East South Street as blighted.
Who seconded that?
Mayor Bell.
Can we have a roll call?
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes.
Moving on. 30, are we moving on?
Yep.
32 East Maple, 32 East South. East Maple, sorry about that. A notice was sent out to the owners to properly, board the property. This is also another property that the city, I think Steve stepped in and had to have Public Works come and start the process. It hasn't been completely boarded. The rear of the building and some windows in the front are not completely boarded up. This property has not paid up on the taxes. It still has a small balance. So that's where we are with that one. That one also has criteria of 1 double I for blight and number 5 for vacant property not registered. I mean, hasn't been rehabilitated in 1 year.
Did the first one have 1 also?
One double I. Kind of, he's pretty particular about that, so that's why I keep saying double I.
Is there a motion?
Same deal, no response from the property owner, no.
32 East Maple, the owner is deceased, and no, we haven't heard anything yet, from anybody regarding that property. Moving on?
Yeah.
Not yet. You guys make a motion.
Oh, yeah. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to certify the property at 32 East Maple Street as blighted.
Roll call?
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez,
Aye.
Burgos, Moore,
Gaines. Aye.
Motion passes.
Moving on. 230 Grantley Street. The property was just registered on the vacant property list. I think I heard last week. The property has been vacant for more than a year, so that would be like criteria number 5. It also meets number 1 double I. The taxes are up to par on this one. I did send the letter out. I did get a response from the owner. He put a appeal in, so I think he plans on attending the appeal hearing and let everybody know what he's gonna be doing with the property.
So should we table that?
When is the appeal going to be?
The appeal hearing is, what's today? On Wednesday this week.
Of this week.
Of this week.
The only thing, if we were to declare it today.
Oh, hold on one second.
It's just a little emphasis for the next step, I guess.
What's that?
If we were to do it today, or handle this case today, should that appeal not be held, this would still be in place.
As far as I'm concerned, the appeal, it will still be held. I mean, I don't.
No, I mean, if the meeting doesn't take place. The appeal meeting does not take place, this would still be in play, in effect.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Pardon me?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
You're having an appeal hearing, correct? Yes. If that hearing does not take place, this process would still be in place.
Oh, yes.
So it gives the next case or the next step, whatever, a little emphasis. So go ahead. So do we have a motion?
So I guess my question is,
Go ahead.
no, I guess you already answered it. I make a motion to certify the property at 230 Grantley Street as blighted.
Roll call.
Who second that? Burgos. Johnson.
Aye.
Velez. Burgos. Moore. Gaines.
Motion carries.
Moving on. 600 Atlantic Avenue. Right criteria is 1 double I, number 2, which is a dwelling that has been condemned or deemed unfit for occupancy or use by the local authority having jurisdiction due to dilapidated, unsanitary, unsafe, vermin infested condition, or that and lacking in the facility's equipment as required by the Pennsylvania Construction Code Act. So this one, they do owe taxes, city taxes, county taxes, refuse, sewer. They received a violation notice back in 2019 for closing of vacant structures, which they were supposed to seal up the property. They never did that, and the property has been vacant since then. I think prior to that, Steve, I guess they had a third-party engineer go out to investigate the existing structure condition of the property. One of the prior inspectors went out. I think that was deemed, why it was deemed unfit and condemned at that time. Let me see.
That was in 2019.
Let me see. 1 second. Oh, actually, the condemned came from what I said earlier, which was the failure to close up the vacant structure properly, which is not properly. If you could see in the pictures, it's still not boarded. But I will say that the owner did contact me. He said he was going to put an appeal in, but he never put the appeal in. Yesterday was the last day to put in the appeal for because they have 30 days. So he never did put the appeal in, but he claims he wants to do something with the property, but there's nothing happening. It's been like this for the past, since the condemned.
So, quick question. What was the delay? So after it's deemed condemned, is it blight at that point?
No, I think he may have, it doesn't really document whether he fixed it, but the condemned sign is no longer on the property. I don't know if he took that off or how that worked out, but the condemned sign was because he didn't board the property up. So if you look at the pictures, he still has not boarded it, and it's been vacant since, yes.
He's been current on the taxes.
No, he owes taxes, sewer.
So, okay, so it's been condemned, empty.
Yep.
And outstanding taxes.
Yep.
For 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to certify the property at 600 Atlantic Avenue as blighted.
Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Aye.
Velez. Burgos. Moore.
Aye.
Gaines.
Motion passes.
21 Columbia Avenue. That's number 1, double I, and number 5. Their taxes are up to par. No, they do. Oh, that's hefty. They do owe a large amount on the refuge, but I was in contact with the owner, and she recently submitted a permit for the property to do some drywall work. This was like maybe, wasn't that last week? Are you guys doing the permits? Well, anyway, it was last week. She submitted the application to do some drywall in there. I mean, after she received the blight notice, she did contact me and said she was going to put in an appeal and put in a application for a permit, work permit, to work on the property.
21 Columbia?
Mm-hmm.
And she did both of those?
She did do both of those. But in 2021, she was asked to board up the property because it was vacant for so long. I mean, she never did, so that's why we took it to blight. But that's the status of that property.
There is an appeal on the schedule?
Yes.
And she applied for the permit.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to certify the property at 21 Columbia Avenue as blighted.
Second.
Roll call.
Bogo.
You okay?
Yep.
541 West King Street.
We didn't have a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. 541 West King Street.
Wasn't this property already certified as blighted a few years ago?
I think it came to the hearing, but I don't know if it finished the process.
It didn't finish the process because they started doing work there. They got a permit in February 2024. And that's why I backed off of it, because they actually had a permit and was starting to do the work there.
I think what happened was the property next door, which is 539, that was taken by, eminent domain. So we visited the property sometime back in like April or May, Don and Blanda, and they recommended that we put this property back on the list because nobody's been working on the property since they got the permit, which was like a year ago. So they wanted me to put it back on the list. The owner did call. She's also on the appeal. She put her appeal in. And yeah, so she put her appeal in also. But she's still on the list.
Not to, we won't go back to the two other ones, but this one, is it a single family or a multi-family?
At this point, I don't know what she's doing with it, because she hasn't done anything with it since she's.
No, I guess.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
You mean originally, was it a single?
I guess the last time it was current,
Oh.
actually in use.
Doesn't say.
Yeah, ever since this lady.
It's not tenant occupied, I mean, it's not listed as tenant occupied. There's no way. Yeah, so the single family owner occupied.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to certify the property at 541 West King Street as blighted.
Second.
Roll call.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos,
Aye.
Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Moving on. 910 West Popular Street. This property, That would be 1II and number 5. This property has been vacant for, I don't know, at least a decade. And you can see with the pictures that it just has been totally neglected. I mean, there's trash everywhere. There's windows busted out. There's a hole in the back. Now you compare into the property. The owner is deceased. We tried to locate the next person in line because apparently there's a few John C. Kunkles around. So we wanted to make sure we had the right owner, and we did have the right owner. Brett got involved for a quick minute, and we thought we had like a nephew or something, but him and his wife called. They said that they don't have anything to do with the property, so it just originate back to the original owner. The letter was sent out. We didn't get a response back. The property owes Refuge a small city tax. So I think there was somebody coming to maintain the building at one point, and then they stopped. So that's how it got like this. But violation notices have been sent out. NIO tickets have been sent out to board, maintain the property. Nothing's been done. So that is why it's on the blight list. Yeah.
I make a motion to certify the property at 910 West Poplar Street is blighted.
Roll call.
Johnson, Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes.
Nadine Grimm.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this. I took it to Blight.
Moving on, blight criteria for 344 South Pershing Avenue is 1II, number 2, number 3, and number 5. You didn't read number 3. A structure determined by the local authority having jurisdiction to be a fire hazard or otherwise that could easily catch fire or cause a fire and endanger public health, safety, and welfare. So, I mean, you can see by the pictures that the whole rear of this building is gone, and you can see into the kitchen, refrigerator, the upstairs.
Looks like fire.
The yard is like a forest. Nobody's maintaining that. It still has the X on there, which means
Back there and take the pictures yourself?
yeah. It's been on the blight list for a while. So finally it got put back on there. I guess they're trying to, push it through this time. The owner did not respond this time, I guess, because she responded no, she never responded?
Nah, they just never took the property back, I guess, because of the conditions it's in.
Oh.
What? This damage to the property, but if it was on a blight list, how did it get off? Or if that's even an answer, but blight and weight, taxes, I'm assuming are outstanding.
No, they're paid because she lives right down the street from the property. Yeah. I think it just went on hold because there wasn't a blight coordinator. So.
I took it through the process
Oh,
and
you did?
everything. Yep, I
Oh.
went through every process through Blight when I had it,
Mhm.
and it's just the RDA never took it by eminent domain. So
Oh, well, they want it now.
because it's been sitting in limbo since.
I make a motion to certify the property at 344 South First Avenue as blighted.
Second.
47.
May we have a roll call?
Johnson, Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mm-mm.
2.
Nope.
Go ahead.
47 Columbia Avenue. Right. Okay. 1 double I, 2, 3, and 5. This one had a fire 2023 February. It's been vacant ever since. I did talk to the owner. He did contact me. He said he was going to put an appeal in. He never did. I think there's something to do with the insurance, and he's waiting. There's like a period of time where he has to wait for before he can do. I guess he wants to wait. He doesn't have to, but there's something to do with the insurance where there's a time frame where people can come forth and sue, or all that all that stuff. But I just told him that he could put the appeal in because I don't know anything about I don't know anything about that aspect. But he did register it on the what's that say, March 5th?
Yeah.
March 5th of this year?
Yep.
He just registered it this year on the vacant property list. So. No, I think, was that a single? No, that was an apartment. It had some casualties in there. Yeah. Mhm.
Do we know?
Was it single family? I think it was single family. Yeah.
Yes, that was single family.
It was a lot of
Yeah, they
people
had
in
2
there.
families living in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know generally how, what the waiting period is for the insurance?
I think he said it's getting ready to. It should be this year. That's why he was waiting. He doesn't really have an interest in the building. He would prefer to just knock it down, but I guess he wants to wait on that process.
Make sure he don't get sued.
I make a motion to certify the property at 47 Columbia Avenue as blighted.
Roll call, please.
Johnson,
Aye.
Velez, Burgos, Moore, Gaines.
Motion passes.
The last property is 222 South Sherman Street. Blight criteria is 1 double I and number 5. This property, we weren't sure if it was vacant or not, but there was a violation notice that went out last year to board up the property because it was at some point verified as vacant. Maintenance of the property, sanitary conditions. It does owe city taxes and county taxes. Hold on. Okay, city taxes not paid. Yep, so. And there has been no response regarding the blight criteria. Remember that on the corner?
motion to certify the property at 222 South Sherman Street as amended.
Alrighty.
Roll call.
Johnson.
Aye.
Velez. Burgos. Moore. Gaines.
Motion passes.
Thank you and welcome.
Is there any other business for the commission? Hearing none, we stand adjourned.
The ones that I had y'all share? 371. No, these. No, these are the ones that finally get.